today, what's today's date?
Today is February 18th, 2023.
And I want to show you this lady. That's Marjorie Kinnan Rawlings.
Yeah.
And we're at her house. Marjorie Kinnan Rawlings Historic State Park. And there she is. And we're going to tell you a little bit about her. And there's one of her books. And there she is. I'm going to turn this around. We want to open up this video here.
Yeah. Her
Okay.
dog Moo.
Her dog Mo. All right, Robin. We are at Cross Creek. Marjorie Kinnan Rawlings' home.
Yeah.
Now a state park. So well, she wrote lots of books, of course. One of them is called Cross Creek. And you have with you the very first lines of the book.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
It's the first chapter, for this is an enchanted land. The road goes west out of the village, past open pine woods and gallberry flats. An eagle's nest is a ragged cluster of sticks in a tall tree, and one of the eagles is usually black and silver against the sky. The other perches near the nest, hunched and proud, like a griffin. There is no magic here except the eagles. Yet the 4 miles to the creek are stirring like the bleak, portentous beginning of a good tale.
All right, so we're gonna see where she wrote that right here in Cross Creek.
And she is a Pulitzer Prize-winning author from 1928 to 1953.
And if you go online to the movie, you can watch the movie that they made from the book Cross Creek.
That's right.
And a lot of the things you're going to see in this home are in that movie.
Yeah, exactly. It was filmed right here.
Okay, here we go. Turn it around again. All right, let's see.
Okay.
Oh, it's an honor system. I didn't realize. Hey, good morning. All right, we've got to pay the honor system. So a long time ago, Robin and I came here and we painted plein air paintings. We both painted a picture of this gate right here. This is the gate to her house. So we sat over here somewhere with our easels and painted it. But it was a long time ago. I think it was, I'm going to say 2011. So that would have been 11, 12 years ago. Something like that. Do I have to put that in the car, Robin?
Yes.
Okay, hold that. You hold this. You can chat a little bit.
Okay. No, this is so beautiful. It's just such an outstanding area. Very, very historic place. The movie was filmed here in 1984, I believe, and Mary Steenburgen played Marjorie Kinnan Rawlings. She did a great job. Here's one of the signs. And this is Marjorie's gate. Larry and I came here years ago and plein air painted. And this is the gate that we painted, Marjorie's gate. And the plein air paintings that we did that year was all to raise funds for the Marion County Literacy Council. And it was very inspiring being here. It is just truly, truly amazing. This is located around the Loch Lusa management area. They use it for hunting. They use it for boating. You can bring your picnic lunch here. It's absolutely gorgeous. Trees are outstanding. We've got Orange Lake and Loch Lusa Lake here, and it is absolutely amazing.
Hello. All right, I put that thing in the car so that we have proof that we paid.
Good.
All right, let's go inside.
Okay, I just told them about Marjorie's gate in our plein air painting.
Yes, I also mentioned that. Yeah, that's how we painted it closed.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's just, the same
It's
metal.
it's the
and
same that
everything.
we saw. I think it was 2011, right? Is that what you
I
guessed?
think so, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Cool.
Let's
I
see.
love this one.
So what I love about this is that we're walking where she used to walk.
Yeah.
This is how she came in, I guess.
There's her quote.
It is necessary to leave the impersonal highway to step inside the rusty gate and close it behind. One is now inside the orange grove, out of one world and in the mysterious heart of another. And after long years of spiritual homelessness, of nostalgia, here is that mystic loveliness of childhood again. Here is home. And that's from the book, Cross Creek.
And it's pretty amazing because from what we understand, she was from New York and she was just so restless up there.
It's just places.
She wanted to be somewhere else that she could truly call home. She discovered this place, and that's where that quote comes from, I believe. Oh, isn't this gorgeous?
It's been a long time. We were here 11 years ago to paint, but we were also here before that to take a tour.
Yeah.
Now, when the movie first came out, I came up here with my son.
Here's the orange tree.
Well, let's go see the tree. I came up here with my son, who was little at the time. We saw the movie, and then I took him up here so we could see the house. And he recognized things from the movie in the house, like the water pump.
Yeah, that was very cool. Very clever idea you had.
What are these, Robin? Are they oranges?
No, I thought they were
Or
orange.
kumquats or something?
Could be.
Little tiny.
No, they're oranges. They're just small. They're starting to grow.
All right.
Let's see what this tree says. Oh, it's all faded. You hear the rooster?
I hear a rooster, yeah.
Yeah, and there's a tree. I wonder if those are grapefruit. But look at them all. No, it must be the oranges because that's what she says on the sign.
Yeah.
This is the orange. You can smell it. Wait a minute. Just smell. Those are the orange blossoms, yeah, that I remember. Oh, I love that smell. Ooh, here they are. Look at that, getting bigger. Yeah, those are the orange blossom smell I remember. Oh, it looks like there's a docent tour over there.
Yeah, well, we'll catch up with them.
Yeah.
Let's see what this...
Look at this. Look at the fencing. Oh, my.
Is that the fence she's standing by in that one picture in the front?
It sort of looks like it,
Looks
doesn't
like it, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the way she came in.
Yeah, that could
Or
be.
maybe that was her.
Well, she had a car, I believe.
She did.
Yeah, let's see what it is.
Marjorie Kinnan Rawlings' house and farmyard. I don't know if you can see it on the picture.
It's been designated the National Historic Landmark.
This site possesses national significance in commemorating the history of the United States of America. That was put up in 2006.
By the National Park Service.
Yeah.
Look at this. Ooh, there's a chicken coop.
Any chickens in it?
Oh, the door's open. Maybe they're free range.
Free range. Free range chickens.
Yeah.
I wonder if the eggs are less expensive.
Oh, and that's where they roost and lay their eggs.
Yeah.
Oh, there's an egg. I see it.
There's an egg?
I see it. Way on the end there.
Oh, yeah.
That is so cool.
There's an egg.
That is so cool. Look at that.
We found an egg.
Isn't that something?
Yeah. I'm glad I'm not a chicken. Wouldn't want to live in there.
Yeah. Oh, look at the barn. Oh my.
Yeah, let's go in there.
Yeah. Let's check this out, see what it's all about. Oh my. There's her buckboard. Ooh, I love that sound.
Oh, there's skins on the wall.
Oh yeah.
Wow, very cool.
This is her buckboard. It's all the equipment for the horses in the buckboard.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that. It says Silver Springs Groves. sold oranges. So this must have been a working
Oh yeah.
orange grove.
Yeah.
And Silver Springs Groves must have bought the oranges from her.
Very cool. Let's look at the other things on the other wall.
Okay. Oh, here's a trap.
A trap? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You catch something.
Yeah.
And over here, all the tools. Very cool. What is this, Robin? This thing right here. That's an outboard motor. Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, look at that.
for a boat.
Yeah, that must have been her motor. For her boat tooling around in the lake.
Well, she's definitely changed her lifestyle.
Oh yeah. Look at that. Tours begin here, 10, 11, 1, and 2.
Welcome to the historic Marjorie Kinnan Rawlings Historic State Park. Please sign our guest book. Ooh,
Nice.
let's sign it. I'll let you do it. I'll hold the camera.
11:15. Okay, here. Oh. There's a front page. Let's see.
Look at all this old stuff. Oh, there's the boat. There's her boat. Got another outboard motor on it. Boy, they were small motors compared to what you see today. A wheelbarrow. Hello. Hi. Let me get out of the way. All right, let's go see. Oh, I see ducks.
Oh yeah.
Let's go say hello to the ducks.
Okay.
I feel like we're visiting somebody's house.
We are.
It's like an old relative.
Yeah. Oh, look, there's the wash basins.
Let me see.
There's the wash basins.
Yeah.
Look at the scrubbing. Scrub brush.
Oh, Robin. Turning on the water.
Buttons are made to be pushed and things are made to be turned.
Here's the
It's a
ducks.
mallard.
The ducks.
They're mallards. Isn't that something? Look at that. They're eating. Isn't this something? Beautiful. And trees.
So let's check out the laundry line.
Okay.
Because we got one of these.
Look at that. Fashion for the 1920s. Same as it is today.
There you go.
Huh?
This Spanish moss hanging from the line. Here's the bell.
How tiny she was. Very tiny.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, look at.
Ducks chasing each other. Here's the bell.
You're gonna have to ring it.
Oh, I'm not going to ring it.
Why not?
You can ring it.
Okay, here it goes. Oh, they took the ringer out. Get this, the wood around. Pretty amazing. More oranges. They're really...
What if we just did a sonotube, like an 18-inch sonotube? Yeah. Up to there?
Look at that tree.
That's an old tree.
It is. It's amazing.
That was probably here when she was here.
I would guess. I would guess.
Oh, wow.
A lot of critters must live in
Yeah.
there. Isn't that something?
Come over here. There's like a picnic getting ready to happen, looks like. They're going to have a picnic or a wedding or something.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever was over here before.
No, I wasn't either. Must have been a flower garden at one time. And they
Yeah.
covered it up.
I don't think I was ever at this
No.
little house here.
No, I wasn't either.
They must have presentations here.
I would think so. Let me see what this is.
The porch.
Oh,
Is that her book?
maybe the authors have book signings here. No, Charlie Haley. At the University of Florida. Maybe local authors come here and have presentations. Oh, we gotta go inside.
Are we allowed in? I guess so.
I would say yes.
Wow. I never was in here.
No. This is beautiful. It's just the main house. Pictures on the wall. Oh, look at that. Sweet potatoes. Some kind of porridge.
Yeah.
The wood burning stove. Look how small.
Yeah.
Look at that. Oh, my grandma had dishes like these. Yeah, look how small that wood burning stove is.
Yeah. Well, see, that's my favorite part right there, the bed.
This must be where her friends, there's the caretakers, I bet you.
Yeah.
Maybe they have a, ooh, listen to that. The tin roof. Well, this is probably where they lived.
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, I love that noise. Wow. You can feel the history.
We still get Van Camp's pork and beans.
Yeah, we do. And still, please. Still, please.
There's another bed.
Yeah. This must be where they live.
Another stove.
I bet once the stove gets going, it really heats it up.
There's a painting.
Yeah, somebody did that. Is there a signature? I don't see one.
Let's see one.
The rafters.
Go ahead. I know you want to. There you go. What's in there? What is that?
I don't know. It must be some kind of kitchen tools.
Yeah.
You think?
You're looking through the drawers. Your mother ever tell you don't look through people's drawers?
I know. There you go. There's another table. Wow. Two families. These must be where the two families lived that she references
Yeah. Yeah.
in her book.
More laundry.
Yeah, I love that sound on the roof. This is
You have
comfortable.
gone back in time.
I have. Very comfortable. Yeah.
It
I'll
looks
bet
like
you-
people listen to stories being told.
Yeah. Historic presentation. Wow. Isn't that something? That's their decoration for their window. I guess.
Hey, we've been here before, but never to this little building.
No,
Was that cover for the light, for the candle?
Maybe.
Huh.
Makes sense. Oh, I wonder what this is. Maybe it's something getting ready to bloom. That's an unusual plant.
Yeah.
Wow.
Be it ever so humble.
Oh yeah. And look at the ladders.
Hey, they have a golf cart back here. Well, that's pretty cool.
This is pretty cool. This is very cool.
All right, let's go into the main house.
Don't you love walking around history?
It really feels like we stepped back in time.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah.
It does. And orange groves. Boy, it sure did my heart good to smell those. Oh, look at the purple flower. To smell the orange blossoms blooming. Because I remember that smell when we would come down on vacation. That when we moved here in 1973, it's so pungent, you know, it's just so great. Memories.
I remember it very clearly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when you would stop at like the touristy souvenir stores,
Uh-huh.
and they would have the fragrance in a bottle,
Orange blossom perfume. I always bought one.
but it never smelled like the groves.
No, it never did. Oh, there's that rooster. That was Pop. Maybe he'll talk some more. Oh, look at this. That's the pump then that you were referring to?
No. This is a regular faucet.
Look, ducks. Look at the mallards. I wonder if they're here all the time or if they migrated here. I've never seen so many mallards.
Well, they are well fed and well quenched for their thirst. Yeah.
The males.
Yeah.
Oh, this must be his area, and that's his area. And look at there, living with a rooster.
Hello. Oh, look at this guy over here trying to get away.
Yeah.
He's going for a drink.
Oh, isn't that something?
Going for a drink.
There he is.
I don't want to say anything, but I had chicken this morning.
Isn't that something? And it seems like people aren't bothering them. Hello. Can you talk to us? Oh, there he goes.
Over here is a rooster. I see a rooster right there. There's the talker.
Oh my, he's the king. Now he's the real king of the ducks. Okay.
Of the
Or
chickens.
The chickens. He's the king of the chickens.
King of the chickens.
Look how regal he's standing there. He's surveying his harem.
Got pretty feathers.
He does.
Let's see if I can zoom in on.
Yeah.
Hey, baby.
Look, he's looking at you.
Pose. Strike a pose.
He was looking at you.
Strike a pose.
Hey there. Uh-oh. Here comes that one. Running. Look how beautiful he is.
All right. Let's go inside, see where we go. Oh, there's the garden, Robin.
Oh my. Oh, and here's the big pot. Wonder if that's where she made her lye soap. My Aunt Hattie made lye soap and had a big pot like that. Almost thought it was a snake, but it's a hose.
I thought the same thing. I saw it, yeah.
Just look at that. Everything's growing so beautifully.
Nice.
That is something.
Okay.
Down here. growing up as a child and you have relatives that do stuff like that make lye soap or work in the garden and things, you don't really think about it and appreciate it until you get older.
Right.
And then they pass, and then there's nobody to ask. Oh, there's an outhouse. Have to check that out.
You want to check it out?
Yeah.
All right.
And look, more oranges. Isn't that something?
It looks like a screen door.
It does. I wonder if it's 1 or 2 holes.
Let's find out.
How many holes?
Just one.
1.
Just one.
Look at that. Isn't it something?
Whoops. I guess it's a good idea to put a screen door on a outhouse.
Oh, sure. That way you can check it out. See if somebody's coming at you.
Ready to go inside?
Sure. Look at that produce that's out there in that garden. Lettuce or whatever else it is they're growing.
Let's go inside.
Oh, look at that. Tapes. For hands.
Handrails here.
Yeah. Oh, I guess you had to go in the front door. It wouldn't open.
Okay.
Oh, that's for your boots. To wipe off your boot.
Get the mud off your shoes. Can we go in this way? Or? That guy had a key, so I guess.
No, but there are other doors in there.
Okay, okay.
Oh, look at the turtle shell.
I see it. The door stopper.
Wow. She probably died of natural causes. There's her bathtub. They say that when she had parties here for all her friends, that's where she put all the ice and the booze, was in the bathtubs.
Yeah, he is talking.
Those are her books.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, ironing board.
Very cool.
You want to just kind of wander around?
You cannot, you have to be with a tour, but if you want to follow this
Oh,
through here.
okay, okay.
The next tour's at 1 o'clock officially.
Okay, okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well,
So that part is done already.
I'm sorry?
They already went through that part? That tour already went through there?
Yes.
Oh, and so where those people are standing.
I have
over
no
there.
idea where they came from. Oh, they're with the guide.
Okay.
Peggy's with them.
Oh, we can look through the windows.
So we gotta wait till 1 to do that part?
Get that chandelier.
What time is it now?
It's 11:30.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we break for lunch, 12 to 1.
Okay. Well, let's see this part.
Okay. And then we could come back and look through the windows on the other side of the house. At the inside. Isn't that something? Beautiful sherbet glasses, aren't they gorgeous? Boy, she knew how to set a table, didn't she?
Well, we'll have to wait till 1. Otherwise, we're not gonna see the inside of the house.
No, we can peek through the windows on the other side.
But there's a trail. Maybe we can do the outside trail and then come back at 1.
Come back. I like the fireplace. I like where the bricks are. I love the wood floors. This is so different than what it used to be.
Look at this broom here.
Yeah, corn husks, right? Isn't that what those are?
So it looks like.
Looking at what things. Yeah, because, you know, a lot of the help out here, volunteers and stuff, they're in period costumes, so some of it's made by local seamsters and stuff. And it was probably made by some folks down in Ohio who did stuff for the movie.
I wonder if this house was here when she came here or if she built it. Or had it built.
So all the laundry went around the house, and there was no washing machine either here. You'll see a tub over here, a kettle, that's for the laundry.
Kitchen
The kettle.
cupboard
That's the
where
washing machine.
they would have all
Her
their
washing
baking
machine.
supplies and have all their cooking gear. There's a word for it.
A little stove run.
Last time she had this door open, it had Cheerios.
Cheerios.
Here's where you put your wood. It's burnt too. You can see it.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
wood inside is burnt.
Yeah.
That I know, because here it's all done with all baking and frying, everything's done on the range. She was not obviously in the barbecue, there's not a single barbecue recipe in the cookbook. Oh, really? So, on the stove.
She probably,
I would be into barbecuing in the Florida heat, but she wasn't.
We're gonna go, honey.
she
We're going.
probably had people around.
Teaches you how to cook game and meats.
Ah.
Well, she writes
She
about
was
it,
a hunter.
but she didn't do it herself.
Yeah, she goes on a note, she went to Baltic Blue Room in Haynesville.
Yeah, she also went to, there's a place, right near her house.
There's your cupboard.
$1 for, it's either 50 cents or $1 for all you can eat.
I needed that picture of the kitchen.
Cross Creek Cookery.
All the cookbooks that she used. Oh, there's her refrigerator.
Yeah, icebox.
Icebox, that's what it's called.
There's an ice cream maker.
Oh yeah.
There's some great recipes in there.
My friend, because she loves to send me cookbooks, and I think this is really neat.
I'm thinking about buying your Cross Creek if you've never read it. It's excellent. Maybe it's more than
That's the one, yeah,
I read Cross Creek in the Bible.
Yeah, yeah, probably is.
I don't know if she'll ever get down here and visit me, so. I'm telling her for many, many years.
There we go. Got a chance to see this. I've been out here so many times.
You can peek in the doors.
Well, there used to be a car here, remember?
Yeah, I remember.
Oh yeah, there's her typewriter. See it?
Yeah, I do.
Way over there.
I do. I bet on the
See, last time we came here, you didn't have to wait for a tour guide.
No, I remember.
You just kind of walked through and could ask questions.
Let's go around the other side of the house. Look at, there's the ducks again.
Little girl likes the ducks.
Yeah, let's peek in there.
You know, I don't see that pump that I referenced earlier. What if they took that out?
You can see it real good from the other.
Well, we'll wait till they give us the tour and we'll do it. But meanwhile, we can walk down that trail.
Okay.
Wait, here's a bird bath.
There's another porch.
I know. Just like us, she has a bird bath.
Yeah.
We got something in common. I wonder if that was a dirt road back then.
Yeah, well, there's another turtle shell.
I guess that was the way you held the door open, huh?
Yeah. Let's go up on the porch and let's see the windows.
Okay. Is that where we just came out of?
On the other side.
But is this the building we just came out of?
I think so.
Oh, it's all locked. Okay, let's take a walk down that trail.
Oh, there's her closet. Her hats, her shoes, pocketbook. I just want to peek in.
It's just reflecting too much.
Oh, a treadle sewing machine. I just want to look. Yeah, and there's her suitcase. And a treadle sewing machine. And there's the porch with the typewriter.
Yeah.
Okay. She probably made turtle soup. She probably cooked them because she had a game book there.
Turtle soup.
Yeah.
Coming right up. Get your piping hot turtle soup. Let's take a walk on that trail where we saw the ducks and the chicken.
Well, it's 20 to 12.
And the walk is at 1, or the tour is at 1.
Yeah.
That's okay, we got plenty of time.
Oh, sure. You can smell it. Smell the orange blossom.
Yeah.
The roses, they smell so good too. They're beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Are they chasing him?
Looks like
They shouldn't chase him.
it's down this way. Let's see what's down here.
I like exploring things.
I wonder if this goes to the creek.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised the other people didn't walk this way.
Yeah.
There's some signs,
Oh yeah.
some historic, educating things.
That's right.
Staff only. Well, there's a sign.
Of course.
All right, we'll abide by that.
Sure.
What does this sign say?
You gotta see. So look at the oranges on the ground.
As you walk the trail, stop briefly to enjoy quotations from Marjorie's books and feel her spirit amongst you.
Illustrations by Robert Carson from Gordon Bigelow's Frontier Eden. Funding by Friends of the Marjorie Kinnan Rawlings Farm Incorporated. Florida
Right.
State Park. So this is a state park.
I wonder if it was back when we first came here.
Yeah. Can't guess.
I do not understand how anyone can live without some small place of enchantment to turn to.
Oh, I love
That's
that.
from the book Cross Creek.
Yeah, that makes me want to read the book and watch the movie. She penned a lot of books when she was here.
Another quote from Cross Creek. Your turn.
I came to Cross Creek with such a phobia against snakes that a picture of one in the dictionary gave me what Martha calls the all-overs. I had the common misconception that in Florida they were omnipresent. I thought if anything defeats me, sends me back to urban civilization, it will be the snakes.
Right.
That's right.
Whoop, come on your way. Here's another one.
I love these. More oranges.
Food imaginatively and lovingly prepared and eaten in good company warms the being with something more than the mere intake of calories. I cannot conceive of cooking for friends or family under reasonable conditions as being a chore. Well, that's from the cookbook she made.
Oh, yeah. Cross Creek Cookery. So I have to look at that book, too.
Yeah.
We might end up going out in the wild, getting a hunting license and making squirrels or something.
No, we will not be doing that. Just like she, I also am from an urban area. We didn't cook the squirrels. We fed them, but we didn't cook them. Not me, anyway. Somebody probably did.
These trees are gorgeous. More oranges up there. This whole area was a grove. The best fish in the world are, of course, those one catches oneself. Nice.
From the Cross Creek Cookery. All right, let's go to the hammock
Hammock
trail.
trail.
Yeah,
Okay.
because that way is to the tenant house, and I
Tenant.
think that's the little house we were just in earlier.
Yeah, let's go this way. And we still have to look for snakes and bears and panthers and bobcats and all that other stuff here.
Gee, I was just thinking about the spirit of Marjorie Kinnan Rawlings.
Oh my gosh, look at that tree, the canopy.
So, let's just imagine, and we're probably not wrong, she probably would walk this trail, maybe even forged this trail,
Sure,
right?
I bet. Oh, there's some, what are those, berries or flowers? Out there past the palms.
Oh, I don't know. I don't want to go in there because you know why?
Well, poison ivy.
Poison ivy! And snakes.
Yeah.
Now look at these palm trees. These are
Oh my.
naturally occurring palm trees.
This is the real.
This is real Florida, yes.
This is the real Florida.
Well, I'm disappointed you have to wait for a tour
Yeah.
because I do remember walking through there without any group, without any tour guide. There was people in there that would answer questions.
Yeah, but you didn't have to. It wasn't a scheduled tour. It wasn't
Right.
regimented. I guess
So if you're watching this and you want to come here, just keep that in mind.
there's a bench.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good for that.
Yeah, check it out online to see what time the tours are. More oranges. Okay, there was a noise. Yeah, look at that. Isn't that something?
Look at all those oranges down there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Isn't that so? I've been there a long time too.
Yeah.
Golly. Huge.
This tree's been here a long time. Look at this tree.
Palms are like they're waving to us with the breeze.
Yeah, that's Marjorie saying, I'm so sorry about that whole tour guide thing.
Yeah, that's right.
If I was still here, I'd let you in, give you a cup of tea, sweet potato.
That's right. Anna drank gin from my bathtub. That's what it was, bathtub gin. They put all their liquor in there and put ice in there, and it was really something. That's what I read about her. She gave parties, and people, her friends from New York, would all come down here, and they loved this area.
Well, I'll tell you, I've been here before, but I've never walked this trail. I've never been in that little house that we were in earlier.
Uh-huh. Me neither.
So, there he is.
Oh, look at the cute little doggy. Hi, little doggy. Aren't you a cutie?
Having a good time. Hello, what a cute dog.
You look so fluffy.
I just got my hair cut.
Oh, looks like it, looks like it.
He said they cut
Hey, hello, hello.
Oh my
They
God.
were like 2 inches long and they cut them off.
Oh no.
Like they're there for a reason.
Yeah, really.
what's your gizmo?
We
there?
having fun? Oh, it's a camera.
Oh, okay.
You see, it's got a little screen on it. So.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
What's her name? Emmy Lou. Hi, Emmy Lou. What
Emmy Lou.
a cute name.
Oh, it's pretty.
She can't play the guitar though.
Oh no.
We tried to teach her. But
Oh, gee. No, this is so nice. Oh, look at that leaf. It's waving.
It is waving.
Waving at us.
It's saying hello. It's saying over here, over here. Come on over here.
Wonder if this goes to the lake.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
It said the hammock it goes to.
Look at that.
Yeah, watch the roots and rocks.
Yeah.
Don't trip.
No. Oh, look at this. Isn't this great? This is beautiful. Boy,
Yeah.
she must have had a great time. Just being mesmerized by all the fauna and flora and being right here. I can imagine the deer, you know, because of her living here. The deer
So
probably knew.
the other book, The Yearling, is also based on her life here, right?
Yes. Yep. But she
And that was
wrote-
really the more famous book until Cross Creek came out. The movie Cross Creek made the book Cross Creek
Right, right.
more well known, I think. I could be wrong.
Right. That was about a family, from what I understand. I know I read it years and years ago.
Which one, Cross Creek or
No, the Yearling
The Yearling?
was one of my daughter's favorite books. Which way do you want to go?
No, this way. This is the trail. You're too daring. I'm not that daring. I gotta stay on the trail.
Those red berries are flat. Lot of root.
Wonder where we're heading.
I don't know. Hammock.
It said the hammock on the sign.
I loved hammocks when I was a kid. My grandma had a hammock. She'd stretch her out in the backyard. And then when I had children and we'd go camping, we always had a hammock between the trees.
I'm guessing it's the other hammock that we're going to.
I think so.
Imagine if that's what we come to, the hammock. That kind of hammock.
Yeah, that would be funny.
This is the trail here. I'll let them pass. We got people behind us.
Look at all the cypress knees.
Yeah,
That water came up here years ago.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see some of those eagles that you wrote about.
Oh yeah. I forgot to. Oh, there's a bird. I forgot to look for the nest.
Oh, they're going back.
Yeah. And that's adventurous.
Well, this is still a trail, right? I hope. It didn't say the end of the trail. That might have been the end of the trail. Yeah, I think that might have been the end of it. I don't know, but we're in the woods here.
Oh, look at that tree.
Oops.
You scared me.
Sorry.
Oh, look at that big vine. Oh yeah, there's a fence. So
Yeah.
we know we're in the right spot.
All right. So
There's a fence.
that was the hammock across the other side of the fence.
Okay. You want to go this way?
No.
It leads to the fence.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I won't take you anything. We've had enough experiences when we were bicycling in places in the swamps and everything.
Look at the cypress knees.
Yeah.
Trip.
No, and we've had our share of adventures when we were bicycling and then we ended up in the swamp.
Well, before anybody thinks that I have never walked through the woods, I haven't walked through the woods in a long time. I'm 68 now. It's been a while. And where did you say that trail was? It's up there.
Well, the people are gone now. They're in the kitchen. Oh, there's those red berries. Now we got up close and personal. There they are.
And there's the old fence post with old barbed wire.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
See that?
Wow.
I don't know where you took me, but
I love it out here.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's get out of here. Do you see a way out? There's a fence there, Robin. It's a barbed wire fence. You didn't see it?
I saw them. I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
Just keep walking. It'll hit you. Oh my gosh. We're gonna have ticks in our hair. Oh my gosh. Oh, my camera's all. Oh, thank goodness. I said, thank goodness. Oh. It's, Wisconsin people know everything. All right, let me straighten this out.
I was just trying to guess.
Yeah, I know.
Look at this. Isn't this
There's
something?
no ticks because it's only 70 degrees.
It could be up in New Jersey where it's 35. But it feels like 25 because of the wind chill. Yeah, I love Florida. I love the real Florida. And this is the real Florida, okay?
Yep, and I probably have some real bugs in my head.
When you want to camp in the real Florida, it's not camping in an RV, it's camping in a tent. Look how wet this ground is. Shiny. Oh. Isn't that fascinating? The way that trail looks.
All right, I'm going to turn this off because I want to save the battery for the inside of the house.
Okay.
All right, we got to take a walk down. We're at the water now.
Yeah.
I think he's a ranger.
Oh,
It's
okay.
a park ranger, I think. Anyway, so let's go see the water. So I think this is Orange Lake. Where are you?
I'm here.
I think this is Orange Lake. Not this, but what it leads to. And I think where those people are, where we're walking, I think that's because Cross Creek connects Little Lake, Wakalusa or something like that,
Wakalusa.
and Orange Lake. It connects the two.
Wakalusa should be to our right.
Correct.
Lake should be to our left.
Yes.
That's pretty neat. Oh, we should load it up on that truck.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
Wonder how big the park is, the whole park.
Yeah.
Wonder if you can camp here.
And then I wonder how much land she owns.
Yeah.
How many acres?
Or is the whole park was her land? Maybe she bought a lot of land.
Yeah, yeah. Because she didn't want any developments or anything here. This was her whole area. And if so it said she walked 4 miles to the creek. This had to have been all of her land.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that body of water where those ladies are standing is the creek. And if you were to go up it, you'd go to the other lake. It connects the two.
Right.
Or maybe the whole thing is the creek. Yeah, so I'm not sure about the 4 mile thing. You know there's probably gators here too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Let's see if we see any. And what'd she say about snakes? She said there was snakes here?
Yes.
Well, there are.
blackberries, bobcat. Look at all those lily pads. Fella fishing way over there.
Yeah. So I would think this is the creek right here.
Yeah. This is amazing. So beautiful.
All right. Well, that was pretty cool. All right, let me turn this off and then we'll turn it back on when we get in the house
For the tour.
for the tour.
Hi, my name is Peggy, and welcome to the Rawlings house. Who has been here before? Okay. And who has read The Yearling? Okay. Who's seen the movie The Yearling? Yeah? How about the book Cross Creek? Anybody read Cross Creek? And who's seen the movie Cross Creek? I always tell people ahead of time that if you've only seen the movie Cross Creek and not read the book, it's a lovely film, but it's not true to the book. They take several characters and roll them all into Marsh Turner, and it kind of is a little different. And her house was never on the water, in spite of people believing it was, because the movie set was on the water, filmed down the road here in Orange Lake. So, I'll tell you a little bit about Rawlings. She was born August the 8th, 1896 in Washington, D.C. Her father was an examiner for the U.S. Patent Office. And so they lived in the city, but they had a weekend dairy farm. That was the love of their life. And Rawlings writes a lot about how she always wanted a farm, and that's where that started. It was way back when her father had that dairy farm. She was very close to her father and had a very distant and cold relationship with her mother, which she wrote about many years later. She always wanted to be a writer. When she was a little kid, before she could even write, she would sit down on big pieces of brown paper and just scribble. And back then, the big newspaper in Washington, D.C., the Washington Post, had a children's page, and kids could submit stories and poems, and they would publish them in the newspaper. And Rawlings was a regular submitter. She was always sending things in to the Washington Post. When she was 11 years old, she got paid $2 for winning a contest in the Washington Post. A new biography came out about Rawlings about 2 years ago by Ann McDonough. And she says in that book that Rawlings admitted later that the first money she ever won was based on plagiarism. Somebody had given her a story from a magazine, she cut it out, rewrote it, and submitted it as her own. She didn't know that was plagiarism. She just thought, oh, I can write that better than they did. And she kind of chuckled to herself when she realized this professional writer, Pulitzer Prize winner, won her first money by cheating, but that's okay. So let's see where I should go with you now. Marjorie's father died just as she was about to leave, graduate from high school. So she went to the University of Wisconsin in Madison and majored in English. She also did a lot of acting while she was there, and she wrote for the literary paper. She graduated Phi Beta Kappa, and she got one other thing at the University of Wisconsin. That was her first husband, Charles Rawlings. He also wanted to be a writer, and this caused some problems later. So they got married. They lived for a year, almost 2 years in Louisville, Kentucky, writing for a paper. And then Charles said, I want to move back to my hometown of Rochester, New York. So that's what they did, and they lived there for the next 9 years, writing for 2 different newspapers. This is where Marjorie becomes a syndicated columnist. For 2 years, 6 days a week, she writes a poem, and it's called Songs of a Housewife. And, you know, people did never write about housewives. They were just taken for granted and just do what they're supposed to do. Well, women in America loved it. And 50 newspapers around the country picked her up, and she became syndicated. In March of 1928, Marjorie and Charles came on vacation right here. Charles had two brothers that lived down the road in Island Grove, just 4 miles down the road here. They had come down to be part of the citrus and the real estate boom. So Marjorie and Charles came on vacation, and March in Florida is quite different than March in Rochester, New York. And Marjorie was absolutely taken with this place. She called it that untamed place in the sun. Now Marjorie and Charles have been trying to write and sell their own fiction for a long time, and nobody wanted it. It just kept getting rejected. So Marjorie said, "Oh, Charles, how we could write our own writing if we moved to Florida, sold everything we own, and put all of our energy into our writing, and find some way to make a living while our writing is coming to make money." So they went back up north, and they asked the brothers to buy a working farm for them. So they bought this place sight unseen. They were back in Rochester. And what they got was 72 acres of land. They paid $14,400 for it. And it had 1,600 citrus trees on the property when she bought it, and she planted 1,000 more. Her property goes way across the street. That was all grove. You walk back past our duck pen, almost, you can see the lake almost. It was all the way down there. Everything was citrus. Where you park today would have been her cow pasture, where she kept her evil-tempered cow, Dora, who she loved because she gave the richest cream in the state of Florida, but she was mean. She didn't like Dora. She writes about Dora a lot. Anyway, they paid $14,400 for that. It came with an old barn. This is a replica. A tenant house where her hired helper lived. That's through the woods, and that's not the original. And the old farmhouse. Originally, that was 3 separate houses, and they were all located exactly where you see them today, but they were not connected. The oldest part of the house was built in 1884. That's the front part. The kitchen and dining room wing was put on in 1900, and in the early 1920s, the bedroom wing was added. And I'll show you how she connected those up when we go into the house. So they never really made money on the oranges and the citrus. We're at the very far northern end of the citrus belt. Her grove froze to the ground, had to be replanted, and it wasn't until 15 years later that they actually broke even on the oranges. But Marjorie's writing started to blossom. She sold a story to Scribner's magazine for $150. It was called Cracker Chidlins. It was a series of short stories. This is her first attempt at writing about the local people. She got paid, and she was thrilled because Scribner's was the literary magazine for the whole country back then. And to get a piece taken by them was a really big deal. But even a bigger deal was Maxwell Perkins, the famous editor at Scribner's, recognized that she had something, and he wrote her a letter, and he said, "I like what you're doing, please send me more." You can imagine how that felt to her. She'd been rejected. No publishers wanted any of her work, and now the famous Maxwell Perkins says, "Send me more," and she did. To help you, nobody can ever say strongly enough just how important Max Perkins was to her writing. She described him as her very best friend in later years as they developed this working relationship. She also, to help you understand their relationship, in the very beginning, she wrote him a letter, and she said, "Don't you spare me anything to get it right. I will come to New York and drop a live rattlesnake on your desk if I ever find you are being polite about my stuff and I catch you at it." That really sums up a lot about who she was and about what she wanted about her writing. So she sells that, and let me catch up to my brain here. Then she sells another story, another novella, a long short story called Jacob's Ladder. She gets paid $750. I'll show you what she does with that when we go inside the house. Then she sells or writes her first novel, South Moon Under. To write this book, Marjorie moves down the banks of the Ocklawaha River, down in what was then called the Big Scrub, now the Ocala National Forest. She lives with this old cracker family, an old pioneer family. Now Marjorie's grown up in D.C., gone to college in Madison, lived in Louisville, Kentucky, Rochester, New York. She's a city girl. She goes down to the Ocklawaha, and Leonard Fitty and his ancient mother Piety teach her how to hunt, how to fish, how to make moonshine, how to poach, how to evade the game warden. She writes to Max Perkins, and she says, the federal agents have been quite active lately. Don't be surprised if your correspondent has the misfortune to be run in. If it should happen, don't bail me out. The jailhouse will make a quiet place for work. And we don't think she ever got busted. So she's really loving the quiet courage and dignity of these local people. They're dirt poor, subsistence living, but they love their lives. She wants Max Perkins to love this book. She is in love with her own first novel. They're sending corrections back and forth through the mail. Max Perkins always with the gentlest of gentle touches. She sends her final set of corrections back to him, and she sends a note. She says, if you like this book, I shall drink a quart of Bacardi in celebration. If you don't like this book, I shall drink a quart of Bacardi. But he did like it. And all of America liked it. It went immediately on the bestseller list. The Book of the Month Club took it as their book, which was a big deal to get that as an honor. And it just took off. And this book, South Moon Under, her very first novel was actually nominated for the Pulitzer Prize. She lost to Pearl Buck for The Good Earth that year. Pretty good competition. Okay, so now we're at South Moon Under. Marjorie and Charles have had a difficult relationship in many ways, and he's here with her for 5 years, but then he leaves and they divorce. His writing is not taking off. He is doing some writing. He's writing about the sponge fishermen in Tarpon Springs. He's a yachtsman. He's a sailor. So what he's doing in the middle out here in Cross Creek. But he left and they did divorce. The people at the creek get together up at the bridge. They take bets on how long that single woman is going to live out here by herself now. I mean, they don't know what to think of Marjorie. She's divorced. She cusses, smokes, drinks openly. She's a writer and a Yankee to boot. But they all say there's no way she's going to stay out here by herself. They give her 6 months. Marjorie ends up living here for 25 years. So now let's see where I'm at. Oh, after South Moon Under, she becomes well known. I mean, she begins to meet the other people that Max Perkins is editing. That would be Hemingway, F. Scott Fitzgerald, Thomas Wolfe. Here's how she meets Hemingway. She is on a fishing trip in Bimini with a wealthy woman on her yacht, who's a professional sportswoman league something. And a boat comes over to the yacht, a man gets out, he climbs on board, and it's Ernest Hemingway. He knows the wealthy woman, and they talk fishing for just a few minutes. But he meets Marjorie. Marjorie, and they're only together for a few minutes before he leaves. Marjorie writes Max Perkins, and she said, I met Hemingway. And he wasn't anything like what they say he is. He didn't hit anybody or cuss at me or knock anybody down. He was really nice. So several years later, she's sitting at a restaurant in St. Augustine, having a drink at a table, and a waiter brings a napkin over, and it says, if you're Marjorie Rawlings, will you have a drink with me? And she looks up and she looks across the restaurant and she kind of smiles. She takes another napkin and says, if you're Ernest Hemingway, I will. And they become friends. She becomes very good friends with his third wife, Martha Gellhorn. She meets F. Scott. There are great stories about all the guys that she meets and all the fun that they have. Let me catch up to my notes here. And I'm not going to read you all this, so don't worry. Okay, told you all that. In 1934, she writes another novel called Golden Apples about an Englishman who is banished from his home country by his family to go live in the wilds of Florida for some misdoing. And then comes the big one. 1938, The Yearling is published. Coming of age story about a little boy named Jody who has a pet deer. As we know, have you read it? I saw that book. Have you read it?
No.
No?
Name's Jody, that's why she looked at me.
Oh, okay, Jody. On this book, Jody is 12 years old. He's a lonely little boy. He has a close relationship with his father, but not his mother, and he ends up having a pet baby deer, and that's all I'm going to tell you about the book, because I don't have a box of Kleenex out here to give to you right now, but it's a wonderful, wonderful story, and Penny Baxter is Jody's father, He's somebody who is, this is set right after the Civil War. And Penny's really trying to recover from having been in war. And Marjorie says that Penny Baxter is her favorite character that she ever has written, and that he sums up her philosophy of life. And his philosophy of life, in the end of the book, Jody has run away from home. I'm telling you all that part before it. And while he's gone, he's experienced hunger and thirst and danger and loneliness. And he has to go back home. He's 12 years old. But he goes back home no longer a yearling himself. He's had to grow up. And when he comes home, his father has not been able to go look for him because he's been injured, and he's so happy that his son is home safe. And this is what he says to Jody. He says, "Every man wants life to be a fine thing, to be fine, boy, and it is fine thing. It's powerful fine, but life tain't easy. Life knocks a man down, and he gets up, and he knocks him back down again." And that was Rawlings' philosophy of life. The Yearling, another humongo bestseller, 93 weeks on the bestseller list. This book puts Marjorie Rawlings on the world map. 1939, she's awarded the Pulitzer Prize for the Yearling. This is how she finds out about it. She's at an event in Ohio. She's been invited to be the keynote speaker for a women's journalism organization. The next morning, she's in her room, orders up room service, breakfast, and the papers. She's having her coffee, flipping through the paper, and she sees a blurb that says Marjorie Kinnan Rawlings has been awarded the Pulitzer Prize. Now, there was a working relationship with the post office where the telegrams came. And she told them, if it's something important, yes, bring it out. Otherwise, just put it in the mail and have it delivered. They didn't think it was so important, so she got it a few days after she came back from Ohio in the mail. She wanted to tell somebody when she came back to Cross Creek about receiving the Pulitzer Prize. And the only person here on the property that day was her oldest, most devoted hired help, Aunt Martha Mickens. She said, "Martha, you know how I have worked day and night on my writing. I have been awarded the Pulitzer Prize for Literature." Martha came up to her, patted her on the arm, and said, "Sure enough, sugar, I bet no one at the creek got one of them." Martha was illiterate. She'd never been taught to read or write, but Marjorie called her a natural-born aristocrat, and she writes a lot about Martha in Cross Creek. When Rawlings died, she left the tenant house for Martha and Will Mickens to live in for the rest of their life, along with a small yearly pension. I forgot to tell you this. Big thing. MGM paid Marjorie $30,000 for the movie rights. And this was the first real money that she's ever had in her entire life. So 1941, another big year for Marjorie. She gets married again. She marries Norton Baskin, a hotel man from Ocala. Together they buy an old mansion in St. Augustine. They build it into a luxury hotel called the Castle Gordon. They build a penthouse apartment on the top. Marjorie lives there. She lives here, and they buy a beach cottage at Crescent Beach. That building is today Ripley's Believe It or Not Museum. When you go to St. Augustine, you'll see a round plaque on the front that says Marjorie Rawlings lived there.
Wow.
And 1942, her only nonfiction book, Cross Creek, was published. It's her love story to this area, the people, the animals, the food. It's a beautiful story. Another bestseller and another movie, 1983. Same year, she writes a cookbook, Cross Creek Cookery, and I'll tell you more about that when we go into the kitchen. Now, Marjorie is sued by her close friend, Zelma Kaysen, after the book Cross Creek comes out. Zelma is a social worker here, and she asks Marjorie if she wants to go with her to take the census. And she's going to go on horseback, ride out through this vast area and find a little cabin here. And Marjorie knows there's going to be good stories, so she says, yes, I want to go. She goes with her, writes the book comes out, and Zelma sues her for libel. She doesn't like what Marjorie had written about her. One paragraph that she wrote about her, you can tell me what she did. Zelma is an ageless spinster resembling an angry and efficient canary. She manages her orange grove and as much of the village and county as needs management or will submit to it. I can't decide if she should have been a man or a mother. She combines the more violent characteristics of both. And those who ask for or accept her help as a social worker Think nothing of being cursed loudly at the very instant of being tenderly fed, clothed, nursed, or guided through their troubles. It was the cursing part. Zelma did not want to be known worldwide now, because Rawlings is a worldwide figure now. She didn't want to be known around the world as a woman who cussed. So when it went to trial, they asked everybody to be a witness. Everybody witnessed on Marjorie's side and said, Zelma cusses all the time. It's not in question. So did Marjorie. It wasn't in question. But again, she didn't want it to. It was one thing for Cross Creek to know it, another thing for the whole world to know it. Zelma loses the first round. It goes to the Florida State Supreme Court on appeal, and after a 5-year-long court battle, Marjorie loses. Zelma is awarded $1 for invasion of privacy. But Marjorie had to pay all the court costs, and they were huge. She never wrote about Cross Creek again. About Florida again. She really was hurt because she never intended to hurt her friend Zelma. 1953, after 10 long years of slow work, she publishes her final novel, The Sojourner, her only non-Florida book set in Michigan, based loosely on her grandfather Trump Hagen's life story. To write this book, she moves to Van Hornsville, New York, and buys another old farmhouse and renovates another farmhouse. As she is just moving in, she gets a telegram telling her that Max Perkins has died suddenly, and she's absolutely devastated. And she says, how will I ever write again? And you can see it took her 10 long years to finish that final book, and it was not met with critical acclaim. I really like the book, but it's very different from a lot of her other stuff. Marjorie's had some health problems over the years. She has dealt with diverticulitis. She has a mild heart attack when she's here at the creek by herself. Her doctor says less stress, less alcohol, less smoking, and less rich food. And no doubt she ignored most of that advice. She died in 1953 at the age of 57 over in St. Augustine at her beach cottage in Crescent Beach. Her husband Norton lived to be 95 years old. He died in 1997, and I used to be a park ranger out here in 1983 and 1984, the year the movie came out. And Norton would have never met a more charming man in my entire life. He was just so wonderful. When Marjorie died, she left all of this to the University of Florida to be a writer's retreat. After Norton, being the hotel man that he was, took all the furniture out. He wasn't going to leave it for the college kids. He put it in storage. When the Park Service took over, he brought everything back. So everything in the house is Marjorie's exactly as it was when she was still living here, with a couple of exceptions. Okay, that's all I got to tell you. Let's go in the house.
Yeah.
Shut up, Peggy. Yeah, come closer. I'll smash your face in the dirt. So the house is an example of cracker-style architecture. Sits up off the ground. Porches on every side, high ceilings, anything to let hot air out and get a breeze in. It's a pretty comfortable house. Marjorie said in all the years she lived here, she only remembered 3 days and nights that were intolerable. And we closed this house down in August and September because it's hot.
Yeah.
Right.
Not true.
Yeah, right. No, and still no AC. So when she bought the house, it did not look like this. It had never been painted. It was battleship gray inside and out. Had no screens, no electricity, no running water. In spite of that, Marjorie knew that she had come home when she first saw this old farmhouse. Every time she sold a book, she made improvements, and you can see a lot of things changed with the house. She enlarged the porch. It was just big enough for one person to walk around a chair. She enlarged it, and that became her favorite working spot. Because you're such a large group, we're not going to stop on the porch, so I'll tell you about it and then I'll meet you in the living room. The round table was her favorite place to work. That was built by her first husband, Charles. You can see the base is a cabbage palm is the base of the table, and the chairs are made out of deer hide. And we think he made that table for playing poker with his brothers that lived down the road. But after he left, that became Marjorie's writing spot. She would write sometimes 8 to 10 hours a day. and said at the end of the day, if she had one paragraph that she was happy with, she was okay with that. She was her own harshest critic.
Revised a lot.
Yeah, yeah. She did again get screens, which must have been a major red letter day in her life. She got malaria twice while she was living out here. She put the French doors in. It's a nice day. We have the house opened up and the living room just spills out onto the porch. And by the way, there's a writers event that's happening momentarily over at the tenant house. UF architecture professor wrote a book called Porch, I think it's called, and inspired by this porch, and he's going to be over there talking about it. So that's available to you too. Let's go inside the house.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So this is the oldest part of the house. Remember I said there were the 3 separate houses that she joined together. This part was built in 1884. And when she got here, this was 2 small rooms, so she took this wall down and opened it up into 1 large room. She did eventually buy a generator to make her own electricity, and she didn't like the way the glaring light bulbs looked hanging from the ceiling, so she went in her kitchen and got wooden mixing bowls, painted them white, flipped them upside down to make indirect lighting. Made it a little bit nicer in here. In the corner, that was originally her firewood. She kept her firewood in that closet. And then she turned it into her liquor cabinet. So she said she kept firewood on the bottom and firewater on the top. Marjorie never locked any doors in this house when she would go to St. Augustine or into Gainesville, wherever, except 1 door, and that was the liquor cabinet. And if you read in Cross Creek, you will see how her very clever hired help still managed to get into it, and in various ways. This is pretty good liquor. So the next little room would have been a small bedroom, and it's now our display room. So I'm going to talk about it, and then you can walk through because it's too small for us all. On the top shelf are some of the languages the yearling has been translated into. We know it's been translated into 33 languages around the world. The middle shelf are her books in chronological order. The small little books in the middle of the middle shelf were done during World War II. The military asked authors to donate their works, and they could be made into small enough books to fit in a soldier's pocket to be able to have a little bit of home with him. Her books, South Moon Under, Cross Creek, and The Yearling, were chosen for that. In The Yearling, there is another chapter in Cross Creek, a chapter called Our Daily Bread, in which Marjorie writes about all the good food she cooks out here and the coming together with friends. And she got hundreds of letters from servicemen telling her basically, this is what we're fighting for, this is home. And one officer wrote her and said, lady, I'm going to ban your books because they don't want to go to the mess hall after they read about the food out here. That's what inspired her to write her cookbook, Cross Creek Cookery. There's another one called Cross Creek Kitchens.
Did she incorporate all those letters into a book?
No,
That she received?
No, but I have seen some of the letters. She got one of the letters was from Alex Haley, who went on to write Roots.
Yeah.
He said, yes, I think he was in the Navy, and I enjoyed your work, and I'm hoping to be a writer one day. And I've never seen a collection of those letters, but I have seen a few of them. All of her work is it might be here, all of her work is at the University of Florida in a special collections at the Smathers Library. And you can visit that and see the original manuscript of The Yearling and all of her books and stuff. Oh, wow. These books here would have been some of the books that she read. She was an avid reader, but they're not the originals. There might be some that are, but mostly they're not. The bottom shelf in this bookcase here are books that were published after her death. She did write 1 children's book called The Secret River that is really a beautiful book. Got a little girl named Calpurnia, who just so happened to be Julius Caesar's wife's name as well. But it's a great little book. So in the corner of this little room, in the back corner, you'll see pictures of Maxwell Perkins and the other authors that he mentored and edited. and various pictures around the room of people that influenced Rawlings in her writing. When you leave that room, you're going to go into a bathroom, and that is how she connected the first and the second house. She put it indoor plumbing, the first indoor plumbing of all across Creek. And when she put it in, she threw the gala event of the year, threw the party in the bathroom. The tub was filled with ice, soda, and whiskey in the bathtub, a tray of glasses over the sink, and a bouquet of roses in the toilet to celebrate no more outhouse after the party. When you leave that bathroom, I'll meet you in the next bedroom. There's a step up out of that bathroom where she connected the two houses. She put that in when she sold Jacob's Ladder for $700. She said that step up was a problem for the inattentive, the elderly, or the inebriated. So what's your step up? Take your time wandering through these things.
Oh, I have one more question.
Yes.
I think that's a radio over there.
I can't see where you're
On
pointing.
the
Yes,
thing.
it is.
Did she get good reception here? I mean, was she able to
That's a
listen
good
to the
question.
radio down here?
I know she did listen to the radio because I remember reading that, so I guess she got good enough.
Oh, okay. Thank
Yeah.
you. I was wondering.
Come on in. So take your time looking through this room, and I'll meet you in the next bedroom down.
1939, first radio station
Yeah, that's right.
in this area.
That's right. Look at this. That's so nice over there. Isn't that something? I have to check some of these books out. Did you get the bookies?
Mm-hmm.
Here's a good example.
Yeah, some.
And the authors that are on the bookshelf above there all stay here. I'm not sure about Hemingway. I don't think Hemingway did stay here. Some people think he did. That's why the book remains here. I'm just a volunteer. Anyway, but all the other people did stay here. She's very good friends with Robert Frost and his wife, who had a home in Gainesville. They spent a lot of time out here with Rawlings. But the way that she was kind of bumping against rules, who knows who Zora Neale Hurston was?
Eyes
Black-
were watching God.
That's right. Their Eyes Were Watching God is her best known book. Black writer from Eatonville, Florida. Was friends with Rawlings, and this was at the height of segregation. And Rawlings had Zora Neale Hurston spend the night in her home when she came to visit. And had her neighbors known about that, she would have been totally ostracized. And she writes letters. At that time, her second husband, Norton, was driving an ambulance in Burma during World War II. And we have letters, she wrote them every day. And one of this beautiful letter about coming to terms with that. A lot of her writing in the very early writing is quite racist, and she uses words that make you very uncomfortable. But she really came around, and Zora Neale Hurston had a big impact on her. So Zora Neale Hurston stayed here as well. Okay, now to go out to Marjorie's bedroom, this is a closet. This is not a door outside. You have to go out on the porch and go around to the next bedroom. So that's going to be, we're going to go in her room. You're going to see she added a second bathroom. Every time she sold a book, she made a home improvement. The chapter in Cross Creek is called The Evolution of Comfort, and that's about putting the two bathrooms on. She loved her bathroom. She writes a lot about her bathrooms and about the old outhouse, which is quite funny. So I'm going to unlock this next door, and you guys head on into the next room, and we'll get you all in there, and we'll talk briefly
Oh,
there.
I have one more question. Who did the artwork? on here, a home in Florida. Is that
I
supposed
don't
to
know.
be her?
Let me see what that one is. You're the first person that's ever asked me about that particular piece. Let me see if I can read what it says. It just says a home in Florida.
Yes, and is that her? I mean, that was that the artist
No,
depiction
I
of
don't
her?
know. I don't think so, but I will find out at the end because I know who will know.
Okay.
And I like to be asked questions I don't know because no one ever asked me about that one before. Okay, come on out here and we'll go to her bedroom.
I'm glad she liked windows. She liked all the air. Old camera. So wonderful. What a great tour.
Oh, glad you're enjoying. Anybody else in there?
Yes,
Okay.
there's a family.
Okay. This was her bedroom. Sometimes she used the other room in letters and things she's written. It's not always clear which room, but this is her picture when she graduated from the University of Wisconsin in Madison. Her first husband's nickname for her was Skinny, and you can see she was, but she didn't stay that way, and I know that because of all of her letters. I'm going to take that 10 pounds off. I'm going to quit doing this. I'm going to start. I relate to this. I understand. She loved rich food, and loved to cook, and loved her evil-tempered cow Dora, from which she got all that rich cream. When she wrote the cookbook, somebody said to her that she should give a cow away with every cookbook because of all of the rich cream that was required in the majority of the recipes. This is her second husband, Norton Baskin, on the back wall. She said marrying Norton was like coming out of a storm into a safe harbor. He never remarried. He said Marge had been the spice of his life.
I bet she was.
I bet she was. Very much so.
You have to come through here to get here, and you come through that door. It's a closet right there.
Thank you for answering that question for me. Yeah, you had to come around to come inside. There is a door off that porch, a screen door off that porch, but these two rooms did not connect.
And is it a second typewriter she had? Or?
None of these are her original typewriters. We don't know what happened to her original, but she wrote in lots of different places around the house. So to have a typewriter here and a typewriter there, she also wrote longhand too. So let's come down to the dining room. This way. This is how she connected the first house with the kitchen and dining room house. She put this breezeway on. So the porch going this way and the porch going that way. And this is her dining room. I'll talk to you here about it, and then you can come in and take a look. Her most elegant room. It's all of her original furniture, except her table would have been much larger than this one, because we have to have it small so we can get people through the dining room. See what a big group. It's all of her original china. I told you she loved to cook. Vogue magazine came to do an article on her, and in it she said, get this right, my writing is my evaluation, my profession, and my torture. But I cook singing at the top of my lungs as an extrovert in certainty of fulfillment. She said, you can criticize my writing, but indifference to my table throws me into a rage. When Marjorie had friends here, she always took the chair at the very end so nobody had to look out at the outhouse while they were eating dinner. She hated her outhouse. She writes a lot about the outhouse, which is kind of fun. So take a look through here. It's all over china. If you have any questions, I'll be in the kitchen and we'll talk in that next room. Come on through. She always cooked with cast iron, which you can see here. She said it just did not taste as good if you didn't use cast iron. She said give the aluminum away to the war effort. It's just not for cooking. So when she decided to write the cookbook, in response to all those letters she got, Scribner said, yeah, great, we'll publish your cookbook, but we want it for a Christmas offering. And so Marjorie had to field test every recipe in this kitchen all summer long. And she tested every recipe with her maid Idella until she got it absolutely right. It would have been really, really hot in here.
Oh, yeah.
So I want to read you one passage. This is in the introduction to the cookbook. And when I first came back out here to start volunteering, it was 2 years ago, pandemic still going on, but pandemic was really in the throes of things.
Oh, yeah.
And we just actually gotten back into the house being open. And I found this introduction, and I just thought it was so appropriate for what's going on now in the world in many different ways. This was written during World War II. Men in the service have written me from Hawaii, the Philippines, Australia, Ireland, and Egypt. Always there was a wistful comment on my talk of food, often a mention of a boyhood kitchen memory. 8 out of 10 letters about Cross Creek ask for a recipe or pass on a recipe or speak of suffering over my chat of Cross Creek dishes. Bless us, I thought, the world must be hungry. And so it is. Hungry for food and drink, not so much for the mouth as for the mind. Not for the stomach, but for the spirit. The door of the world's house is shut, and there is no breaking of bread with the wayfarer. The frustrated corporal wrote me of his home and of his family. But it wasn't only the chicken stuffed with pecans, the crab Newburg, or Dora's ice cream for which he longed, but the convivial gathering together of folk of goodwill. Country foods, such as those of Cross Creek, have in them not only Dora's cream and butter and a dash of cooking sherry, but the peace and plenty for which we are all homesick. Isn't that beautiful? This cookbook is just a delightful book. It's got vignettes about her living out here, got great recipes. Most of them aren't particularly healthy. She has her first pecan pie is called my utterly deadly pecan pie. Underneath that one is called my reasonable pecan pie. It's not either. So anyway, have a look around here and then we'll end the tour. And by the way, we do have some of her books for sale if you're interested. There's no pressure, but on the back table out there. So look in here, their pantry. Some of the jams and jellies are made from things that grow right out here by one of her other park rangers.
Did she do some of the hunting and the fishing?
She sure
to
did.
Contribute to the cooking for.
She loved to hunt and
the
fish.
book?
Yes, she loved to hunt and fish, especially when she first got here because she had to. They didn't have any money.
Yeah.
You know, so she was really, they were relying after she was taught how to do it. So,
There are
look
no-
in here, I'll meet you
There
here.
are no clocks in this house
Is that true?
that
I've never noticed. I know there's one in the office, but in terms of a clock she would have had, what a good question.
I just
know.
like old clocks. So
Yeah, you would have noticed then. Okay.
Well, that was a really cool tour of the Marjorie Kinnan Rawlings house, right?
Oh yeah, and the whole day has been beautiful. Looking at the grounds, at the house, speaking with the docents, and just hearing the excitement of the other visitors here.
So if you get a chance, come on up here. I'll put a map on here so you can see where it is, and or just look it up. It's the Marjorie Kinnan Rawlings house in Cross Creek, Florida, somewhere south of Gainesville, north of Ocala.
That's right, and the chickens. I love the chickens.
Take care, be good.
Don't forget to write.
Look how important writing is,
Yeah, very
right?
important.
We wouldn't even know her name if it wasn't for writing. And for the
That's
chickens,
right.
yeah, the chickens are so amazing. Ready?
And remember,
The world spins fine.
on her own.
Chickens on chickens. Well, here's our bonus reel. And you thought the video was over. We're at Cross Creek, the actual creek.
Yeah.
And we're going to walk onto the bridge and look down at the creek.
Yeah.
So come join us. All right, let's walk over there.
Okay.
No gimbal, so I'm going to be a wobbly camera guy today.
Okay.
No stabilizer.
No. I won't single file for the traffic.
So according to Marjorie Kinnan Rawlings' book, it was 4 miles from her home to the creek.
Right.
And we didn't measure it, so we're not sure if it was or not. But I think the other end that we walked to earlier was also part of the creek. If I look at the map. And the bridge, I'm trying to read the date. It looks like it says 1940.
Oh, yeah.
So this bridge, let's see, she published Cross Creek in 1942.
Uh-huh.
So this bridge,
She moved here, what, in the late 1920s, I think, so.
so this bridge wasn't here when she moved here,
No.
but maybe there was like a wooden bridge or something. All right, it's a pretty full creek.
Wow.
I'd say that's a river, not a creek.
Oh, look at that tree.
But on Street View on Google, it's definitely not this filled.
Yeah.
There's more water in it right now than there was in that day the Google car went by.
Gosh. It's like an electrical wire.
Yep.
Fishing bobber.
Yep. So that would be the way toward her property.
Uh-huh.
And let's go across the bridge to the other side.
Okay. Traffic so far. Oh, that's pretty. So this side would be Lake Lockaloosa and that side would be Orange Lake.
Yeah. Yep. Beautiful place.
It is gorgeous.
Real pretty.
Look at all that cypress down there.
Real pretty.
Very pretty.
All right, I see a car coming.
Yep.
After that car gets past, I guess we'll get off this bridge.
Okay. Isn't that gorgeous? And look, it is flowing this way toward
Real
us,
pretty.
so-
You want to wave? You're on the
Oh.
shadow.
Oh.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh, the car turned, I guess.
Oh, I guess he went into the Yearling restaurant.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
another thing worth pointing out. There's a restaurant right here, right over there.
Yep.
And it is called the Yearling,
Yes, it is.
appropriately named after that was the Pulitzer Prize winning book, right?
Yes.
That was the one that won the big one.
Yes.
We got
That tree is really something.
that tree is something. So is your
Look
hanging that
way-
phone over the water.
Way back there,
Yeah,
cypress knees, all the green stuff.
yeah.
Home for alligators and snakes.
All right, back to the car.
Isn't this something? This is amazing.
All right, now take care, be good. Don't forget to write. We won't even turn the camera around. The world spins fine,
On her own.
baby.